Hi everyone, my name is Christina Raganisi, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about why drivers should have to retake their driving tests every 3 years. So nowadays there are a lot of bad drivers on the road. I don't know if it's just me, but I've been driving since I was 16 with my permit and then got my license starting at 17, and it just gets worse and worse every year. You have just the really slow drivers who go way under the speed limit, or you have people who don't use their signals to turn, or you have people that are blowing through stop signs, or you have those really bad drivers who are so slow and stay in the left lane, and then a whole pile of cars end up building up behind them, but they're just too stubborn to move to the side into the middle lane or the right lane. So there are a lot of really bad things that are just some of the things that are super bad about the drivers nowadays. There are also distracted drivers, people who are eating, texting, on the phone, just blatantly not paying attention. There are 33.3 million elderly drivers in the United States and 8.8 million under the age of 20, and that I feel like is the most categories, the two most highest categories that are really affecting how the bad driving is occurring, because you have the underage people who are just not experienced enough and don't know what to do half the time when they're on the road, or you have the elderly drivers who just aren't quite there anymore. So those are really the two main concerns I feel like that there are in the world, and that's why every 3 years there should be a retake for the test, especially for those people, because okay, after 3 years now they're a little more experienced, so they reevaluate themselves on the driving test. Or the elderly people who maybe shouldn't still be driving anymore because they're not quite there, like I said. I feel like the DMV definitely is not strict enough with the driving tests. Like, I know, for instance, in New Jersey, the driving test is in a parking lot, a 10-mile-an-hour parking lot, so it's really hard to kind of mess up on that, I feel like. I know the New York one is on the road, but still, you only have to drive good for one day in order to pass the test. I feel like the test really should be based off of, like, scoring wise, should be based off of how their driving record is. So every 3 years, if your driving record's good and you drove good on the test, okay, you get a better score, you pass. But if you did good on the test and you have like a really bad driving record, I feel like there definitely should be some reevaluation or some test that they have to constantly come and take, or like maybe someone to shadow them just to see how they are driving on a daily basis. Or even cameras nowadays. There should be a lot of cameras being put on cars to ensure that drivers are driving properly, because there are a lot of spiteful drivers out there too. Like, they'll purposely do stuff in order to get people into accidents, like putting their brakes on when they shouldn't be, just so people slam into them, just so they can get insurance money for that. So I definitely think those are some big concerns in the world for driving nowadays, and it really should be taken more seriously, because there are so many accidents and so many people are getting hurt and killed on a daily basis, and no one's doing anything about it. I feel like it's also too because car companies and insurance companies and the government want to make a lot of money off of people driving, so they put as many people into the road as they can, but then causes more accidents, like I said, and more things to go wrong. So overall, definitely think that those two categories of drivers should be reevaluated a little more sooner than other drivers between the ages of 20 and I would say 65. They should be evaluated a little less because of more driving experience, and they're not as old, so they're not losing themselves, kind of, I would say, and that they're basing their driving record off of how they should reevaluate their license, or if they can get it redone, pretty much, and renewed. So thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a good day.